Hello, my name is Irene Dahl. I'm a professor at the Faculty of Law at the University of Tromsø, the Arctic University of Norway. I will now like to present to you some research I have done regarding to the Norwegian-Russian fisheries cooperation, especially in the Barents Sea. And the first topic I would like to add in this regard is about typical mistakes made by company managers and ship owners when performing activities abroad that result in breach of international law and solutions for such situations. And this is about both ship owners and captains, how they can act in order to avoid violations of the legislation. And I will focus on this subject by some concrete examples of violations committed in the Norwegian exclusive economic zone and the fisheries protection zone outside Svalbard. And some typical violations are illegal amount of bycatch, unreported fisheries activities, and discarding of fish. So it's these three examples I will focus on in the further. In a judgment from the Norwegian Supreme Court in 2013, a German vessel had an amount of bycatch of haddock of almost 40%, despite the legal amount was 19%. And the captain was fined for about 18,000 Norwegian kroner and the shipping company for about 40,000 Norwegian kroner. So the question is, what should the captain have done to avoid illegal bycatch by negligence? Well, just before the haul containing an illegal amount of bycatch, the trawler had hauled an amount of 30%, also that an illegal amount. And to avoid violation by negligence, the captain could have moved the vessel to another area and or depth, and there made a test haul to check that area for haddock. Haddock is a common stock subject to Norwegian-Russian management in the joint Norwegian Fisheries Commission, and it is of common interest between both Norway and Russia that the rules, for example on bycatch, fixed by the Commission are complied with to achieve sustainability. The next example I would like to focus on is unreported fisheries activities, which consist, among other things, of violation of the obligation to report various information regarding the fishery to the Fisheries Directorate. An example is a judgment from the Norwegian Supreme Court in 2009, where a captain didn't report that the vessel was about to start fishing in the fishery protection zone around Svalbard. He was convicted for this offense. And the third example is discarding of fish. And this is in Norway seen as environmental crime. And in a judgment from the Norwegian Supreme Court in 2010, a vessel did discard 130 tons of fish waste to make space for more valuable fish fillets. For this offense, the shipping company was fined for about 1.2 million Norwegian crowns. And in order to avoid violation of fisheries regulations when operating in the economic zones of coastal states, the captains and shipping companies have a clear obligation to get information about applicable regulations. So that is very important, that both the companies and the captains get information of which regulation they have to comply with. The next topic I would like to address is about innovations in international and Norwegian legislation. And when it comes to innovation regarding international regulations, I will mention the entry into force of the Agreement on Port State Measures to prevent, deter and eliminate what we call IUU fishing, which is illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, where both Norway and the Russian Federation are parties to this agreement. The agreement seeks to prevent, deter and eliminate illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing through the adoption and implementation of effective port state measures as a means of ensuring the long-term conservation and sustainable use of living marine resources. And one measure is that the port state shall deny a vessel to land its catch if there is clear evidence that the fish was taken in contravention of the coastal state's regulations. So the practical impact of the port state agreement is that a vessel that wants to land illegal fish will be denied access to a lot of ports, and consequently the vessel will refrain from illegal fishing activity. This is an example of an innovation at the international level. And an innovation in Norwegian legislation is the increasing use of digital reporting of various information from vessels to the Norwegian authorities, which can make it easier both for the vessel to report and for the authorities to get the information. The last topic I would like to focus on is the question, does the legislation tend to be more complicated and stricter? I'm not sure of that, but I think it is of great importance to make sure that the legislation and control and enforcement mechanisms are efficient in order to secure a sustainable management and utilization of the living marine resources, especially when it comes to the common and shared resources between Norway and Russia, such as the haddock and the Arcto-Norwegian cod in the Barents Sea. The management cooperation in the Joint Norwegian Fisheries Commission is of great importance in this respect. The Commission meets annually and fixes the total allowable catch for the common fish stocks, for example the cod. And I think we shall pay attention and gratefulness for the almost 50-year-long Norwegian-Russian fisheries cooperation, which has managed to achieve sustainable stocks in the important Arctic region. Thanks a lot for the attention.